Welcome back to the Science of Peace. And today we are going to be talking about the whole us versus them mentality and the us versus them programming that I feel is purposely done. And sometimes we get swept into it as a culture, as a generation, just depending on what's going on with you and your life circumstances. Now, I do want to give a disclaimer with the Science of Peace classes. I am by no way an expert. I don't claim to know it all. I don't claim to have all the answers. The Science of Peace, I developed this outlet as a way to just express some of the things that I might read about, learn about, and also just to express some things that I may have grown through and that have helped me have a better understanding. And it's because I'm a freaking nerd and this is what I like to do. So, so once again, welcome to the Science of Peace. And I also want you to know that my perspective, I'm only giving you my perspective, my limited perspective based on my current level of understanding. And that is key for viewers to know, because when I say based on my current level of understanding, I'm always reading and learning. So if I learn something that changes my perspective or advances my perspective, then I might change my perspective, you know what I'm saying? So, or I might be able to add to what I already know, prior knowledge and all of that stuff. And it might elevate some of the ways that I think. And so, I see that throughout my whole life. Like some of the ways that I thought when I was younger, I might not believe that anymore. Or I might have added to that. Or I might have learned something that, challenge that belief, and I'm one that is open to growing. Now, with that being said, every now and again I will see on my feed, some of the us versus them type programming that's done, especially when it's like on TV, because a lot of that, all of that stuff is purposeful, it's done on purpose, but with this age of awareness and where we are, I do want to speak a little bit about some of the, the black woman bashing, and even the black men bashing that seems to happen, and just making sure that, that some of us are aware that these are tactics to put us against each other. You know what I'm saying? The man versus woman, black man versus black woman, you know what I mean? And some of these things, are just like, you reach a certain awareness and you can see it right off the bat, like come on. But I will say that even though no matter how aware I am of what's happening, it is, and I can see how it can be addictive to keep watching stuff like that, to keep putting that stuff in your mind, and also it is programming you. You know what I'm saying? That's why they call them TV programs. And now we have social media programs, and all these things are going on. But I came across, and I don't even know what show it was. I just saw it on one of the social media posts. And it was, a group of black men and women sitting on stage, and the black man was discussing how, that he's a excellent provider and he can do all of these things, he can, pay the bills, and he does this and he does that, and he's only, from his perspective, he only sees, or he's only meeting women that have nothing to offer. So he was asking, what do you have to offer? Like if I'm doing all of this, I can everything that you have to offer, I can do on my own. So what is it that a woman can offer, a black woman can offer him? And we see this in different ways. Same thing, you'll see black women talking about black men ain't shit, or what vice versa. You know what I'm saying? And this is the key. And this is what, I always kind of reflect on when I'm seeing certain things it portrayed in a certain light. And that is, on planet Earth, that's where we are, right? There's something called physics, right? The law of physics. And it can help alleviate some of our concerns when we see things like this. Because the bottom line is, it will never be eliminated. You know what I'm saying? The whole us versus them type programming, it will always exist, because it has to. And why do I say that? Because of the law of physics is that for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction, right? So, and I think sometimes we forget that, is that for every action, there is an equal and opposite. So, for every good man, you know what I'm saying, there is a so-called bad man. You know what I mean? For every good action, there will be an equal action and there will be an opposite action, because there has to be balance on this particular planet. Just from my current level of understanding, right? So good and evil will always exist. You know what I'm saying? High vibrations and low vibrations will always exist. There will always be women that ain't shit and men that ain't shit. And it don't matter what race they are. You know what I'm saying? It will always exist. The point is, if you truly are the master that you believe yourself to be, or maybe you don't. If you are the God, and you focus on the God within, which is the high vibration, your higher self, lower self. We have it all within us. Higher self and lower self is your God self and your devil self. It exists within everyone. You know what I'm saying? So which one do you feed? Which one do you want or aspire to be, right? It's the same thing when you're watching this stuff on TV or listening to this stuff, right? You can choose to keep listening to that, and you will continue to see that. You know what I'm saying? And if that's the vibration that you vibrate on, then guess what? That's what you will attract. So my thing is this. It's like, it ain't about, men ain't shit, women ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? Because if you ain't shit, and this is just a skewed perspective, because I believe we're all, God beings, you know what I'm saying? But, some of us choose to focus on our God self more than others. So, you know what I'm saying? You attract what you are. You know what I'm saying? It's more than just attracting what you think, but you actually attract what you are. So if you're the type that's attracting men that ain't shit, or you're attracting women that have no value from your perspective, women that ain't shit, women that want to use you, women that take advantage of you, right? And you see yourself as the victim. Because really it's just a victim mentality. It's a victim program. It's not you, because you're not a victim. You know what I'm saying? God is within you, so you can't be a victim. But if you choose to play that role, then guess what? You will attract those circumstances. You will attract those type of people. You know what I'm saying? And also you always have to check yourself. No, so whatever's coming up in your life, you know what I'm saying? If it's disarray, if it's confusion, if it's negativity, if it's people that are always taking advantage of you, people that are using you, people that you feel like have no value, it's a reflection of you. And not to say that you don't have any value, because I don't believe that, but how are you vibrating? You have to check yourself. You have to look in the mirror. Because, like I said, it's the law of attraction. It's the law of physics. These people will always exist. So why are you attracting this type of woman is my question. And that should be your question. Why are you attracting this type of man? Why are you attracting, and just from, and I want to say something about this because I can comprehend when it comes to what you're attracting. And I feel from what I have learned and what I have grown through, I feel like you will, like, no matter how much you think positive, right? If at the core of you, and it could be from childhood trauma. It could be from past lives, because who you were then is who you are now, and because this life is eternal. So you have eternity to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? But if you have programs that are running that have to deal with your self-worth, right? How you value yourself, okay? How you water yourself. And how do you feel about yourself? Do you feel like you're enough? You know what I'm saying? If you're dealing with those type of programs, not feeling worthy, not feeling enough, right? No matter if you're using affirmations and doing all these things, until you tap into that and shift that perspective and start watering and loving yourself, and knowing who you are, is really just about remembering who you are, because you are worthy and you are enough. But if you don't feel that in the core of you, right, then you will attract people that will take advantage of that. They can. You know what I mean? You will attract people who don't value you. You will attract people who don't feel that you're worthy in their actions. This will be the vibration. So you can say all day that, I'm nice, I'm a nice guy, and, I do this, and I do that, I offer this. But do you feel worthy? Do you value yourself? What do you do to value yourself? Like, instead of asking, what does a woman have to offer you? What do you offer yourself besides materialistic things? Like, who cares? Like, I'm not gonna say who cares, but at the end of the day, okay, if you can provide for yourself and you have, excess funds and you're very successful in your businesses, right? That's a certain type of value. But what is your inner value? You know what I mean? Like, what do you do for you that shows that you value you more than anything else? That shows that you value the law of self-preservation. Because if you can't do for you, and I'm meaning like self-love, like it may seem cliche, but if you don't know how to love yourself, and I understand this on a different level now, but if you don't know how to love yourself, then how can someone else love you? You can't even tell them how to love you because you don't know. You know what I mean? So if you don't value yourself, and I mean more than just thinking thoughts of, of positive affirmations. I mean actually getting to the core of you and understanding who you are. Understanding that God is within you. Understanding that you are light, that you are love. Like, understanding that and valuing that, having that boundary put in place to the point where you vibrate that without speaking a single word. When you walk into a room, people can feel that vibration. If you are doing those things, and if you have conquered that thing, then you will not attract these type of people to you. You know what I'm saying? They can't even come around for real. Not to the point where you're going to be attracted to them. And that's another thing. Why are you attracted to women that are like that? Is this a program running? Did you pick this up somewhere? Is something happened? Did you see this in the familiar relationships that you have in your life? You know what I mean? Like, all of these things that come back and get reflected to you and that you are attracting, because that's how powerful you are. You're so powerful that you are attracting everything that comes to you. And some of us don't even know that. We play the victim role. And that's also a program. We play the victim role because it's easier. It's easier to be a victim and blame everyone else than it is for you to reflect and say, you know what? I attracted this into my life. So what about me attracted this? You know what I'm saying? And it's not that you're not worthy, and it's not that you're not enough, but maybe you feel like you're not worthy. Maybe you feel like you're not enough. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you feel like you don't have any value, like real interpersonal value. And if that's the case, then you have to look in the mirror. So it's like, you can't really, every time you complain, you create more of that thing that you're complaining about. You know why? Because you're giving it your attention and you're giving it your focus, and that's how powerful you are. Where you direct your energy, you know what I'm saying? Where energy flows, it grows. So if you're surrounding yourself around bullshit, you know what I'm saying? Then what do you expect to attract? You know? So it's like when you're complaining about bullshit, you're complaining about what type of a woman, that you're getting, and you're attracting women that only want you for your money, or you're attracting women that, only blah, 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 only like thugs, you know what I'm saying? Or why are you attracting that type of woman? Where are you finding these women? Because it's not a reflection of them, it's a reflection of you. And same thing with women. You know what I mean? Like, if you're attracting a man that only wants this from you, or attracting this certain type of man, what is it about you within your vibration that's attracting that? And that is something only you can answer. Only you can look in the mirror and deal with that. But for a lot of us, we don't like to deal with that part of ourselves. But that's where the work has to be done. That's the true work. You know what I'm saying? So that's my spill on that, the whole us versus them. Guess what? It will always exist. But if you choose to focus on that, then that says a lot about where you're at. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying it's wrong or right. It don't really matter. It's what do you want? Is that what you want? You know what I'm saying? You can always find bad in the world. It will always exist because it has to. It's the yin and the yang. You know what I'm saying? Like, it will always be there. But there's also a lot of good in the world. There's also a lot of good men in the world. There's also a lot of good women in the world. There's also, you know what I'm saying, a lot of good. And so you can choose to focus on the good, or you can choose to focus on the bad. And it's up to you, because you're the master. So that's our time. And I hope y'all leave some comments. Tell me what you're thinking about that. And, peace and love. And make sure you subscribe if you want to. Join me on YouTube, Science of Peace. The link will be in the bio. And let's do this again sometime next week. Peace and love.
You insist that ignorance is bliss, and I reminisce when I